Hello guys. First of all, apologies. Never rely on technology. I've done a few YouTube lives now and I always go live a minute before, but YouTube's had me waiting 5 minutes, or most importantly, it's had you guys waiting 5 minutes. So don't panic, stay calm. You're still here. Thank you very much. My name's Lynsey. For those of you that don't know my name's Lynsey and I'm from Social B and I'm an international digital marketing strategist. And first of all, I would love to just say thank you very much for taking 30 minutes of your time to join me this afternoon or this morning, subject to where you are in the world, around our content marketing hints and tips. So many of you have said hi in the chat already. Feel free to still do so. It'd be lovely to see who's here. There's a few names I recognise and some I don't. And we've had really good feedback on these sessions and we've lots of people that have been coming back time and time again. So my commitment for you sharing 30 minutes of your time with me is I want to share with you hints, tips, inspiration and actionable tips that you can share with your content marketing. So if you have a content marketing challenge at the moment, do please feel free to share it in the chat. I am going to be taking questions, so more than happy for you to drop any questions or queries in the chat today. But what I want to share with you today is two areas around content marketing, because often when you mention content marketing, I don't know about you, but when I speak to business on a regular basis, they're like, oh, content marketing just takes up too much time. And I get you, I hear you. We spend a huge amount of time on content and people often ask me, there's a lovely lady who I chat with who works in digital marketing as well. And she says, Lynsey, how do you have time to create your digital content? You create so much stuff. And I'm like, well, if you love what you do and you think about it from a customer's perspective, it doesn't seem that hard to do, but you have to wear those customers' shoes. So what I want to focus with and share with you today is two areas. First of all is how you think about content, and I want you to think about it in a different way. And second of all is how to implement content. So hopefully over the next 30 to 40 minutes, subject to YouTube working good and you guys happy to participate, I want to share those things with you. So if that sounds okay with you, let's crack on. Hopefully you've got a cup of tea, chocolate biscuit. I had mine to rev me up for this afternoon session before we go. And throughout today, as I've said, please drop in any questions or any hints and tips that you've got as well. More than happy to share them. So first of all, what is content marketing? What is content? Content, as I see it, are three things. First of all, it's words. Second of all, it's video. And third of all is audio. They're the three things that generally make up content or how we can convey content, right? That's how I tend to see it. And in terms of content, there's a number of ways we can think about content. And in terms of thinking about content, this is what I want to move on to next, because content marketing is around a number of things. But I had a Google, as we all do, because that's how we come up with content and create content. And content marketing, in Content Marketing's Institute words, is content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating, distributing value, relevant and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience and ultimately drive profitable customer action. So how many of you do you think, and you can be honest or you can hide behind YouTube live chat, how many of you think you have content marketing wrapped up right now and you're ticking all of those boxes? You've got a strategic approach to marketing, you're creating content that's generating profitable revenue. Hands up or yes in the chat. If you're a no or still work in progress, then let's be honest. I would say content marketing is never finished. There's always more work to be done in content and generating that content and creating that content to target that customer audience. So some of you are sharing, not a chance of being even close. Thanks, Julian, for your honesty. Document Direct, great to see you. We just had a quick chat on email and really want to sign up to those guys. Do go and have a look at Document Direct. They're you basically audio stuff up, they type it up with some amazing secretaries and they send it back to you. So I was literally just having a conversation, Greg, so lovely to see you. So you're all a bit mixed bag. Some people trying to be consistent, some people are nowhere near, and that's fine. That's why we're here today. And rest assured, I am not perfect with my content marketing. I could definitely always be better. And with us all in lockdown, some of us have more time to create some content, and some of us are way off the mark. But there is always room for improvement. And what I'm hoping to share with you today is how you can be better at it and how you can think about it differently to actually be smarter at it. So first of all, let's think about how we think about content. So content is words, video, and audio. And basically, as a marketer or of somebody that needs to create content to help attract our audience, this is how we need to think about it. So for any of you that have already attended any of our free webinars, and there's lots of free webinars over on our website, so feel free to go and have a look. I will always share with you two circles. So there's two circles in the eyes of marketing, whether it be content marketing or any other way of marketing. One circle is you as an organization, and your reason for being online is to hit profitable revenue, of course. Like, there's no other reason why you're on the internet, would be my guess. It's not for just being on there for a tick box exercise. If it is, then you're totally missing the trick. So as an organization, you are online to achieve your marketing objectives and your sales objectives and generate profitable revenue. Tick. So the other circle is the consumer, and that's you, that's me, that's anybody, whether you're a business person or a consumer. We're all human beings, and we use the internet for a number of things, don't we? So that's the second circle. And the second circle, when we put our own shoes on, why do we go to the internet? What are we looking for? We are looking for content. And generally, that content is around solving a problem. And I'm going to talk through a number of stories to help bring this to life for you this afternoon. But how we use content as consumers is we're trying to go online to search for things to help solve a problem. And that can be a very niche problem, and it can be a very wide problem. But as an organization, we have to join those two circles together and find that sweet spot in the middle. And that's a really hard place to find. I'm not going to wave a magic wand for you today, as much as I would love to. I'm not able to wave a magic wand to you today and create that little bit in the middle. But I'm hoping through today's live stream, you will get some hints and tips on how to find that middle bit in the middle, that little magic grain of sand in the middle. And I'm lucky enough to work with some of the smallest organizations in the world and some of the largest organizations in the world. And the thing with the largest organizations in the world that frustrates the pants off me, if I'm being really honest, is they don't get their customers. They just really focus on a customer is a number or a demographic, and they will know our brand and they will know us and they will just come and find us. The thing I love and absolutely love about small businesses is they generally get their customers. And this will all become apparent when it comes to content. So small businesses generally speak to their customers directly, have conversations with their customers. And when they truly listen, use these two things here we've been given. There's a reason for these. Think about listening and then transposing that into content. So the thing is, when it comes to thinking about content, if you can put your consumer shoes on and think that they don't know your organization exists, and think about what they would be searching online as a process to find you. So in terms of content, you need to reverse engineer it. So we've got a number of ranges of organizations on here today. We've got Julian, who I know sells training. We've got Document Direct, who I know sells a service. We've got people on here that sell art. We've got people on here that sell a mixture of products and service. But if you start with the end in mind and work backwards in terms of your content, it helps you to think about content creation that's going to help drive that sale. The thing that most businesses trip up on is they think with the end in mind. So they think about, I want to sell training, so let's just get at the top of Google for training, and then let's post, come and buy my training on LinkedIn, or let's come and buy, let's do a podcast on talking about sales training. It's just too sales focused. But if you think about the problems that you're trying to solve for people, and I'm going to bring this to life in a minute with a nappy example, that might sound a bit radical, but it's a true story, then you can really help people. So let me share this nappy example, because you're probably thinking, what on earth is Lynsey talking about? So I became a mum 2.5 years ago. Fantastic experience. Don't recommend it. I'm not going back for a second one. Very traumatic. I have a very, very high pain threshold, but not wishing a pregnancy or giving birth to anybody. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about content. So I became a mum being the very efficient and just ad hoc person I am hugely organized at work, but outside of work, I just go with the flow. I'm very laid back. So I didn't attend any of the antenatal classes. I thought, well, I've got Google. If I need an answer to something, I'll just Google it. So I Googled it, went into having a child, basically blindfolded. Dylan was born, fantastic, amazing little boy who entertains me every day. And within a week of having him, just as a side note, I'd never changed a nappy in my life, never really held a baby in my life. So it was all brand spanking new. So I'd had him for a week, and it quickly became apparent that having purchased my Aldi nappies, because I'm an Aldi fan, and all of these products, within a week, I opened my bin and went, oh my goodness, there is a huge amount of rubbish in my bin from this tiny 7.5-pound child. I am not some sort of eco warrior, but I'm absolutely disgusted with the amount of rubbish that I'm creating from this tiny child. What can I do? So I was totally unaware of what products or what services were available to be more eco-friendly. So what did I do? I turned to Google and I typed into Google how to be more eco-conscious as a new parent. So in terms of an eco nappy brand, I'm not going to type in eco-friendly nappies because I didn't even know they existed. So I'm way back in the journey of having a problem. I have no idea there is a solution available. So I landed on, guess what? I landed on a blog post. And it wasn't a blog post for an eco nappy brand, #fail on their front. I ended up on a forum where people were talking about the same problems as me. And then I became aware that there's eco nappies and there's another sort of nappy, forgive me, I can't remember, basically reusable ones. And I was like, I do not have time for reusable ones, but there's eco ones. So I'm starting to educate myself. Why am I telling you this? Because this is all content. So eco nappies, as an example, and there's two main brands out there, and I must contact them about getting better at their digital marketing and content marketing. If they had created content around that, then first of all, I could have found them on search engines, on Google. And second of all, I would have found them a lot quicker. So why am I telling you this? It's thinking about putting your customer's shoes on and going all the way back to their pain points and thinking about what they would be typing in and what would they be searching on online. And that is generally made up of educating, inspiring, and entertaining. But most of all, it's around educating. And there are a fantastic set of you online today. I know some of you on here, and you're all extremely talented people, but not enough people know about you. And the reason not enough people know about you is because the content that you might be creating or not creating any content at all is you're not using content to enable people to find you. So when it comes to thinking about things, thinking about those two circles and not just putting yourself front of mind, but putting your customers front of mind and thinking about the content that they would want to be searching on and thinking about. And don't worry, I'm going to share how to find out what that content is. So now let's move on to how to implement content marketing. There's a 3-step approach that I use in terms of content marketing, and we use it within our organization and we also use it for our customers. We use the listen, the ask, and the create approach. So if any of you have any questions, Julian, I did not Google giving birth. It would scare the pants off you. I didn't even know how to do it, which is why my husband still laughs at it today and the hospital is still deafened by my experience. So in terms of content, in terms of listening, listen to your customers. As I said earlier, we have 2 ears. We should use them. Too many organizations are too busy jumping on the bandwagon of using social media, using email marketing, and just putting sales messages out there. I don't know about you, but I'm getting so many sales emails at the moment. It's ridiculous. Have 40% off this, have 20% off that. I'm not on online, I'm not on online channels to be sold to. I'm here to help solve a problem or try and find the solution to a problem that I may have or might not even realize I have in terms of trying to attract, engage, and convert my audience. So first of all is listen. So how can you listen online? First of all is listening to your customers. If you are directly speaking to your customers or have access to them, if you're a small business, you'll be speaking to your customers on a daily basis and listening to them. If you are a larger organization, then you can think about listening to your customer service team, asking your sales team, what are the core things that people are saying to you right now? So not like, why are they ringing you? ask your customers or get your team to say, what's your biggest challenge right now? So listening to them from that point of view. There's also a lot of things that customers will not necessarily give you. So a way to find that out is going into forums, also looking at your Google Analytics, also looking at Google Trends, and also using a great tool called Answer the Public. Now, let me bring this to life for you. So if you're in the tourism sector right now, you're probably, trading on a wing and a prayer. And I really do feel for you, because we've been through some real hard times, and we're definitely not out of them. I'm lucky enough, and I know Jonathan's here today. Lovely to see you again, Jonathan. Jonathan and I and a few other people, we travel the world every other week, or used to travel the world every other week delivering training. And we can't travel at the moment. So the travel industry is on its knees, which is awful for a huge number of reasons. But let's just talk about that for a minute, because if I was a travel agent, you might be thinking, why would I be creating content right now? Nobody wants to go on holiday or can go on holiday. And you would be absolutely true. But if you go on to Answer the Public and Google and type in there Spanish holidays as an example, a huge amount of people are searching for when can they travel to Spain? When is it safe to travel to Spain? And if in terms of search traffic, people looking to go to Spain from the UK in January 2021 is up 1,600%. So people might not be looking to book right now, but guess what? They're searching online for all things related to travel inspiration. And if you can be there and serve them with content subject to the content that they're actually looking for answers for to solve their problems, then guess what? They could be signing up to your email content right now. They could be signing up to your email channels. And when they are ready to purchase in the next, hopefully, couple of months to have some inspiration of going on a holiday next year, then they're going to use you. If you've shut down all of your marketing and you're not doing any content marketing right now, what you've basically done is turned the tap off absolutely completely, which is absolute madness. So they're just a couple of examples of how you can listen. You can also ask. So what do I mean by asking around content? So on your website, you can have live chat, and there's a lot of organizations that are missing live chat on your website. When people visit your website, they're not necessarily ready to contact you straight away. But if there's a live chat there, or they can sign up to your email marketing, or they can follow you on social, it's one of the 7 signals, comfort points that give them that opportunity to build a relationship with you. But anyway, rewind a little bit. Live chat on your website, or you can ask them when they're exiting your website. So you can do exit polls. What brought you to our website today? And just leave it as an open answered, an open box, because it'll be amazing the insight that people give you. And if you're talking to your customers on the phone, or if you're chatting to your existing customers or new customers, just listen. You don't necessarily have to ask them anything, but if you actually listen to the words they're using and the things that they're saying to you, there is a plethora of areas of content out there. And note that down. Don't change the language, because too many organizations are keen to change that language and start to create content. And the thing is, if you change that language, they're not going to see a reflection of themselves when it comes to creating that content. So if there's words or language that they use those words and those language in that content, which we'll come on to in a moment. So it's called using the voice of customer data. And the thing is, when I started working in marketing in 2001, we never had access to all of this. Obviously, I had access to the sales team that I worked with in the company that I was employed with. And I also had access to data and speaking to customers directly. But I never had access to Google Analytics, forums, Answer the Public, Google Trends. It's a huge amount of data that you can use to listen, to understand what your customers and your potential customers are looking for right now. So in terms of content, always think value. Do not think sales. So I just want to share with you what we've done to bring it to life in more recent months. If any of you, there's a lot of people here that I've known for many, many years, which is fantastic. And some names I don't recognize. So thank you very much for joining us today. But in terms of content, Social Bee has always given away valuable content, because we know that people are looking for, they're not necessarily looking for training, which we do, or digital delivery, what we do. That's almost like the end product. What people are looking for is education and inspiration, hints and tips. So we rewind that process. If you will not see on any one of our social media channels or anything that we do, come and buy from us, because we know if we give away value, people will naturally come and buy from us. And so in COVID, what we did is we ramped up our content marketing by at least 100%. And we did that for two reasons. First of all, I'm a keen believer in purpose, and my purpose for setting up Social B is to help businesses. I'm a keen believer and keen helper in helping businesses, however large or small, be profitable online. I used to sit the customer side of digital marketing, and it used to frustrate me hugely that there used to be agencies, and are unfortunately still agencies out there, that bamboozle you with this technical jargon and don't really think about it from a customer or your customer point of view. So Social B was set up with that purpose. And when COVID came about, there were so many businesses that there's still loads of traditional businesses out there that really don't have any idea about content marketing or digital marketing at all. So we gave a load of webinars away for free, lots of things like this away for free, blog content downloads. We have done, I think we trained over 100,000 people last month. That's a huge amount of people. And 99% of those were free. Like we didn't make any money on that. We gave it away for free. And it's not because we're trying to sell. We gave away useful content. And that content is all around what people need and want right now. So we're thinking value focus, and we will get business from it, and have got business from it. We were lucky enough to get a six-figure project of giving away some free content marketing last month. And we've also created some new clients and retained our existing ones. So it is possible, but you need to think with the end in mind and work backwards. So once you've created your content, and we're going to talk about that briefly now. So what is content? Content can be a blog post, it can be video content, and it can be podcast content. So you might be thinking, Lynsey, that's 3 loads of content I do not have time to do. Well, you need content, because if you're not creating content, guess what? The signposts that you are using at the moment, so that be social media, email marketing, and SEO, are probably not working very well for you right now. So you need that content, because it's the dotted line between your signposts of social media, email marketing, and webinars, and getting to your website, giving people a reason to visit your website. So if people are looking to book a holiday today or eco nappies, you will always have that type of audience, but generally there's only 10% of that audience at any one time looking in that real aggressive, I need to buy some eco nappies today, or I need to book a holiday today, or I need to book sales training today. But 90% of your audience is going to be in what Google called the see and the think camp. So they're going to be in the problem area camp, and they're looking for solutions, but they need some signals, some credible, useful bits of hints and tips to be able to potentially sign up with you. So in terms of creating blog content should be driven around your customers. And if you use the hints and tips I've shared with you today, you can create some amazing blog content. If you don't have time, then dictate it. And I should be on commission for Document Direct. I am not. Literally, I've only found out about them today from another amazing sales guy who I did a podcast with this morning, Andy Bounds. But go and dictate it into your phone, and they will write it up. It's really cost effective and can be creating blog content for you. But guess what? Once you've created a piece of blog content, what do people do normally? They put it on their website. They will make it SEO friendly if you're ticking all of my boxes. They will post it on their social media channel once, and they might email it out once, and they'll go, that's dull, that's done. Well, here's a hint and tip for you. It's not rocket science. Repurpose that content. Turn your blog content into a piece of video content. You can use YouTube Live, you can use Quick Player, you can use Zoom, record it and upload it to YouTube. Because guess what? YouTube is the second largest search engine on the world. It's owned by Google, and not everyone just goes to Google. There's a thing called NLP. 1/3 of you guys here will be will prefer listening. 1/3 of you will generally prefer reading, and 1/3 of you will generally prefer watching. So guess what? If you can migrate all of your content across all 3 of those channels, you have got the absolute best chance of creating content that's going to generate business for you. So turn your blog into video content. If you record it on Zoom, then Zoom actually allows you to download audio, and you can turn it into a podcast. So it's one quick way of multitasking your content. Julian has asked a question. How long should blog posts be? That's a very good question. I would suggest, if you want it to be found for SEO, it needs to be around 200 words, 200 to 500. Blog content has adapted hugely over the years. The thing is with blog content, if you want to be found online, you need to give Google the signals that you've worked hard at it. So if you're going to write a paragraph, Google's going to go, you haven't worked hard at that, Julian, try again. So think about your content being around anywhere between 2 and 1,000 words. In terms of your blog content as well, it should be easy to read, because I'm like you guys, I don't have a lot of time on my hands. I'm searching all of the time, but I skim read. So make it bullet point, make it easy to read. And in terms of turning that into video and podcast content, you're probably thinking, Lynsey, I do not want to just read out my blog. Absolutely you don't. Make it conversational. So either do it as a case study or involve another member of your team. In terms of video length, Julian, you're asking me a lot of questions, but thank you. I'm more than happy to answer them. It's not about, the thing to bear in mind is it doesn't matter how long something is, quality of the content versus the quantity, so how long it is. If you can share, Julian, you are full of absolute gems, and I know I've known you for around 15, 20 years. So Julian, you are full of gems. Even if you said one sentence, that would be a huge bit of content. And that video content doesn't just need to be on YouTube. It can be on social media, so you can share that content on there. So if you have a bit of blog content, my true belief and opinion is that blog content can be turned into a bit of video content. It can be turned into a bit of podcast bit of content. And I wholeheartedly believe that one blog post can be turned into at least 20 bits of social media content. And guess what? It can also be turned into your email marketing. It can be turned into your Google ads and a whole load of other things. It can be turned into a webinar. And that's what we do. So we turn one bit of great content, we maximize it. And if you maximize that one bit of content, you will naturally generate sales from it. So do bear in mind that people do not want to be sold to, but you have a huge amount of value for all of the guys that are here today. We have another question. Julian, you don't need to apologize for your questions. I want questions. If not, I wouldn't ask for them. Any advice on creating video content for beginners? Well, I have a great tip for you there. If you go back to my last live, which you'll find on your YouTube channel, I gave a whole 30 minutes on how to create video content and also how to live stream. So if you want to go back over that, fantastic. In terms of whether it should be face-to-face or not, people buy from people. So if you can do face-to-face, that is great. But if you really don't feel comfortable, then you can use slides. So I hope that is useful to you. But if you are feeling uncomfortable, and I know lots of people are really not comfortable with talking to the screen, me too. I hate having my picture taken, guys. Never mind talking to my laptop that has a green light on it telling me I'm talking to the world. It's not easy, and I get that. But the more you do it, the more you will be great at it. And the thing is, if you think about you're talking to your customer, then you guys are all going to be great at talking to your customers, because if not, you wouldn't be in business. So think about your laptop as your favorite customer and just chat to them, because that is what it's all about. And the same with content marketing. Content is about creating a solution to a problem, joining those two circles up and finding that sweet spot in the middle. And I know now that there's a lot of people on today's session, and thank you so much for joining me. There'll be big businesses on here and small businesses on here. And I know we've done a lot of work with small businesses that have come from a very traditional sense of marketing, of, just having a retail store and walking in, and they've said, how can I, what is going to be useful marketing? Like, what can I put on social channels, or what can I put on my email marketing that's going to be useful? And the thing is, the best tip I can share with them is, okay, Iris or Sandra or the wonderful people I've been sharing content with over the last couple of months, is if I came into your store, what would you say to me if I came in? You'd probably say to me, hi, thank you for coming into our store. Is there anything you're looking for today? And me, and I can use this as an example, I am rubbish at knowing what to wear. Literally, this is a rare day, I'm not in black. I normally wear a black top, black jeans, black shorts, don't have to worry about it. I am useless at trying to dress in any sort of smart way. So I will go into a store and I'll go, I need help. I have no blooming idea what I should be wearing. And if you own a clothes store, that's your area of expertise. You're going to say, okay, Lynsey, what is it? Is it for an occasion? Is it for, do you travel a lot? And you will ask me a set of questions. What are those questions? Those questions are content. So turn those questions into content, and it can be a live stream video. It can be a blog post. I was talking to a lady today that helps just with that problem. And she really helps people in terms of helping people to know what to wear. And she's like, how do I create content? Well, you create content based on listening to your customers. And the thing is, face-to-face content is no different to online. But lots of businesses get frightened with online because they're like, oh, what should I write about? Put those customers' shoes on and write. Think about the customers you've spoken to in the last couple of weeks, couple of months, and also answer the public if you can. Ask people on forums and listen to people on forums and think about what would be useful for them. Because if you don't, they're never going to find you. And people buy from people. People don't buy from a website. The website is like the last thing to make it easy for them. But they need signposts and signals and content for them to help you generate that business. So I just want to leave with some time-saving tips. And if any of you have any questions or queries, please do drop them in the chat. If I haven't answered them, put them in again. So some time-saving tips. First of all, have a plan. Content can be hard to create. And if you said to me today, come up with a blog post, I'll go, I'm going to struggle. But my most creative time comes at 4:30 in the morning when I walk my dogs. It is the time I walk in the morning. It gives me a lot of headspace, great for my mental health. And I've stuck to it during lockdown. So have a plan. Don't start winging it, because if you start winging it and going, I need to write a blog post today, you're going to struggle. Carry out some of that research. Plan ahead, even if it's a basic framework for 3 months in advance, it will really help you. Have SEO in mind. So SEO are the keywords that people type into Google, and they're not just words like booking a holiday. It will be, if you think about eco-conscious parent, that's what people type into Google and other search engines. And also update old content. Here's one last amazing tip. If you've written a bit of content that's been really, really good, don't just leave it there from 2018. Update it, reuse it, repurpose it, and repurpose the pants off it. So post it again on your social media channels, post it again in your email content, but really think about adding value to people, not sales. If you give value away, then people will naturally come and buy from you. So we've given a huge amount of things away today. This is recorded. So if your pencil has run out, or if your ink's run out, and I know Simon's ink's run out because he's always scribbling notes. If you have run out of ink or speed to date, then this is recorded as well. So you can head back to our YouTube channel and watch it. But what is the core takeaway? What's the key action and takeaway that you're going to take away today? I would love to hear in the chat just as we round up. So if you have any questions and queries after today, please do head over to LinkedIn. I would love to have a chat with you if you have any questions and queries. And if you have loved what we've shared with you today, again, please do head over to our website, socialb.co.uk/newsletter, and think about signing up, because we give this value away all of the time. So what is your key takeaway from this afternoon session? I'm just going to wrap up for a couple of minutes. I've now noticed that the sun is blaring onto me. Should have noted the blooming English weather before we started. But what's your key takeaway from this afternoon session, do you think? Get live chat. Absolutely, Document Direct. I was going to recommend that to you because I wanted to have a chat with someone and I couldn't do it. So it's really linked to content, but that would be my top tip for today. No excuses. If you want business, make it as easy as possible to people. How about Julian, Jonathan, and some of the other guys here today? What are your tips? I won't be having kids. That was not my tip today, Jonathan. They are amazing and definitely keep you entertained in lockdown, but they are an amazing gift if you are lucky enough to have them. But go and try answer the public, listen to the consumer, repurpose, absolutely. Rewrite some of your content, blogging tips, you are more than welcome. Having a plan, absolutely. Repurpose, it's probably one of the easiest tips, and people go, oh yeah, should have thought of that. But absolutely, if you've taken all of the blood, sweat and tears to create a bit of content, why not reuse it? You know, we've got lots of content that we're still seeing at the top of Google, and it's great content, but it's out of date. So why not thinking about, we've now updated it and we've repurposed it into webinars, content, downloads, email marketing. There is a huge amount. And Mary, key takeaway is repurposing. So repurposing and planning ahead seem to be the key takeaways. But thank you so much for today. If I'm going to leave you now. 40 minutes has already disappeared. So it's been great to chat to you today. If any of you want to, these live chats are generally things that I come up with, what I've been listening to, and think, actually, this would be a really good live stream. I would love to know what challenge you currently have, and maybe we can turn it into next month's YouTube live. So if you have any hints and tips or things that you'd love to see on our YouTube live, please do drop them into the chat now, and I will keep a note. It is live, so I'm just going to keep going for a couple of minutes, because if not, YouTube tends to make it disappear. So if you have anything that you would like us to do on our next YouTube live, please drop it in. And just as a reminder, this is recorded, so you can watch it back. Creating stories in Facebook would be an interest. Okay, I will make a note of that now. I'm going to copy it. Any other things that you guys currently have challenging that you would like to see on a YouTube live in the future? What's your biggest challenge? What's the biggest thing that you might be struggling with at the moment in terms of marketing? It might be struggling to generate business. It might be juggling how to do your marketing, Facebook engagement, outreach differences. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of Facebook trends going on here. It is one of the largest social media platforms, and in my eyes, it's one of the hardest ones to get right, but it's not impossible. So thank you for those 2 hints and tips on anything. If there's any other ones, creating sales from Instagram. Okay, I'll take that one as well. Okay, so definitely seems to be social media related. Benefits of video versus text generating. Here we go. We're getting lots of, you're sharing lots of hints and tips of things that you want now. I'm going to copy these over very quickly. Definitely seems to be social media, better use of LinkedIn. Okay, so definitely some overarching benefits there. Okay, leave it with me. Watch this space. Facebook seems to be the most popular, and I'll take those away. But John, I agree with you. LinkedIn is my channel. It's the one that I hang out on the most. But in terms of if you are a B2C, then Facebook may be the one of choice for you. So thank you so much for taking 30 minutes of your time today. I hope my commitment has of your 30 minutes of time been achieved in sharing some inspiration, some hints and tips, and helping you to be inspired by content. It doesn't have to take a huge amount of time. It's just thinking about how to use it tactfully. And Julian's just shared one last challenge: how to move learners to online from the classroom. So thank you very much, wherever you are in the world, in the UK, the US, Timbuktu. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found it useful, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Take care.